Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. So I've noticed a couple of people have asked me to do story times, and I always want to, but it's weird when I'm in front of the camera I can't think of any stories, and then when I'm talking to my friends I can't shut up. So I'm just going to talk to you guys like I talk to my friends. So I'm going to tell you guys the story of one of the worst dates I've ever been on. This was a while ago. This was like 2 years ago, so this isn't anybody recent or anybody you guys would know. So let's start off the story with how I met this person. So we're gonna name this person Sean. So my friend and I went to a high school, I was in high school by the way back when this happened. So anyways, my friend and I went to a high school football game at the time, and it was a school that both of us didn't go to, but a lot of our friends went to. So we go to this football game, and it's a majority minority and black school, and this is like, you know, 7 o'clock at night, so it's not really like a regulated thing. Like we're all just chilling and everything. We're outside, they're bumping rap and hip hop. It's getting kind of ghetto, like we're all dancing in a circle and stuff, so it's getting pretty lit. So you know, we all in a circle like, hey, hey, let's pop it, like, you know, we all dancing and grooving. And me personally, I'm not afraid to dance. Like I will dance in front of anybody, anywhere, at any time. Like if you know me personally, you know I actually cannot be still, and I actually need to sit still sometimes, like even with the hand gestures. So anyways, so I'm dancing in the crowd like, let's get it. And you know, so people are like peeping, like, who is this person? She dancing and she don't go here and she causing all this attention. So you know, I start to make friends and meet people and introduce myself. So there's this kid named Sean, and we were gassing each other up like, hey, and stuff, and we just like chilling, cool, and whatever. And so as the night progresses, like he's like, you know, hey, you're really cool, like we should hang out. Now in my mind, I'm strictly thinking on a friend level. Let's just make it really clear. I am not attracted to Sean in any way. Not in any way possible. He was literally just a cool dude. I think girls and guys can totally be friends and not be attracted to each other. So I'm like, yeah, sure, like I don't mind. So, you know, and plus I was giving my number out to like everybody that night because everybody I met was so cool. So we were all just like, you know, exchanging. So anyways, like some time goes by, he's like, let's hang out, let's hang out, let's hang out. And I'm like, you know, like whatever, because I wasn't really attracted to him. So I was like, you know, put it on the back burner. So this was like, it may be like September-ish. So we're approaching October, like a month has gone by or so. And so in LA, where I'm from, if you live in California and if you live in Florida, then you know, Universal Studios has Halloween Horror Nights. So Halloween Horror Nights is coming up, and I go every year. It is my favorite thing to do. It is the most fun. So anyways, I go every year, and I normally go with like a boyfriend or a new group of friends or whatever, but at the time I was single. So Sean's like, you know, you should come with me, like I got the hookup on tickets. I was like, oh, okay, sounds good. Like, you know, we're trying to gather up a group of friends to go, you know, like I'm trying to gather up my girlfriends, he's trying to gather up his friends, because we all just met. So it was like, this is the perfect, you know, bonding experience or whatever. So we going back and forth, and he's like, you know, I got the hookup, don't worry, just let me know when you want to go, I'll cop your ticket. I said, oh, that's so nice, especially because I have not shown this guy any interest of being attracted to him besides, like, you know, like the way you talk to a guy you like versus the way you talk to a guy who you are just expecting to be a friend, it's completely different. I don't know if y'all know this, but you can have friends who are girls and they not be attracted to you. So anyway, so we're just chit-chatting or whatever. So we finally settle on a date. To go to Halloween Horror Nights, not like a date. The day approaches. So we're there. Let me give you guys some extra details. This is when I just started YouTube, and I just started wearing like experimenting with stuff. So I had just worn my first wig, and I was wearing this wig, and I knew it was my first lace front, you know, it was like the cheap one from the beauty supply store, so it was not that extravagant. It is not like how the wigs are today. So I had a beanie on and I was like, you know, like, that's cool, nobody's gonna know, whatever. So we are at Halloween Horror Nights, but we aren't inside the park. We are outside waiting in line. So once you get there, there are two lines. There is the security line, so we make it through that line. That's line 1. Line 2 is to check your ticket and to actually get in. So we go through the security line, you know, I meet up with Sean and he has his friend there with him. I don't remember his friend's name, so we're just gonna call him Kevin. So Sean and Kevin are together and then they meet up with me. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? What's poppin'? Cool. So we get acquainted. So then we are on our way to get in the park. So Sean has his ticket, Kevin has his, and I get mine. I'm like, cool, and I didn't have to pay for anything? Like, okay. So Kevin goes in. Ding ding. Sean goes in. Ding ding. Zoli. I'm like, okay, you know, what's wrong? So we go back and I'm like, we ring it again. I'm like, okay. So I'm talking to the ticket people, I'm like, hi, you know, what's wrong? And they're looking at me, Sean and Kevin are like, and I'm looking at them like, why are you looking at me? Like, this is the ticket you have provided me. So they're like, oh, you know, there might have just been like a mix-up. You want to go to the help booth over there. I said, okay. So they make sure that they can, you know, they get their stamps and we come out and we go to the booth or whatever. Now, it's getting packed, so every line, no matter where you're standing, is packed. So we stand over here by this booth and it's like 20 minutes. I'm getting anxious because I'm trying to get in the park. Like, you know, Halloween Horror Nights is from like 7 to 2 and it's going on like 8-ish or whatever, and I'm antsy. I don't like being late to stuff like this because it's like I paid my money, even though I didn't. But it's like, you know, I still want to enjoy the event. So we go over to the booth and we wait in line. I'm like, okay. Once we wait in the line, it's our turn. So I go up and I'm like, hi, you know, I tried to get in with my ticket, whatever, but it's not working. Like, we don't know why. And they're like, okay, 1 second. So, you know, they're typing up the ticket information and they're like, you know, what's the name on the ticket? Now, this is Sean's business because I don't know. So he goes, oh, you know, the ticket is Sean Kingston. I don't know why, but whatever. I just gave the man the name Sean Kingston, whatever. So he's like, oh, Sean Kingston. And they're like, okay, and what's the, you know, number and all that? So he gives them all the information. And he's like, do you have the credit card that you bought the ticket on? And he's like, no, my aunt bought it. And they're like, okay, well, you're gonna have to contact your aunt because something is wrong with the ticket. And we're like, okay, you know, what do we do once we have that figured out? They're like, you're gonna want to go to the help booth over there, the ticket booth. So we're like, okay. So then we go to the ticket booth and we have to wait in line. And so we are at the ticket booth and we're waiting in line and we're like, hi, you know, we were just at the help booth. They told us to come over here because we have a ticket it's not working. Like, we're trying to figure it out. They're like, what did they say was the issue? And we're like, oh, I don't know exactly. They were asking who was the card holder. They want to speak to them. They were like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing we can really do about that. You have to go back to the help booth. We're like, we're not playing this game. We're not playing this game. One of y'all at these booths is gonna tell us what to do. So I was like, I'm sorry, sir, excuse me, but they just sent us over here to talk to y'all because there was nothing they could do. So I'm gonna need you to do what you can do. Like, this is the ticket booth. How do you not handle the tickets? So we're standing there, they're like, okay, give us a second. So we give them more information, like, you know, they asking for all this whatever. So they're like, okay, like they said, we need to know who the card holder is. And we're like, why? And they're like, because right now it's saying the ticket isn't paid for. And we're like, oh, okay. So he's like, Sean pulls me to the side. He's like, okay, let me call my aunt. I'm like, okay. So, you know, he's calling his aunt, whatever. She doesn't pick up the phone. I'm like, he calls his aunt again. Calls. She doesn't pick up the phone. I'm like, okay, well. So we go back up to the window. I'm like, his aunt isn't calling, but like, I mean, she works here. Like, is there a problem? That's what Sean starts to say. He goes, oh, but my aunt works here. Like, we got the tickets from here. They're like, what is her name? I don't remember what he said. We'll just say Shirley. So they're like, okay, Shirley, well, is she here tonight? And he's like, I don't know. She's not answering her phone. So they look up Shirley in the freaking system and they're like, there is no Shirley here tonight. I don't even know if a Shirley works here. And I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of weird. So then we go to the side again. Sean's like, let me just call my aunt. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, this is so weird. Like, they're invalidating her ticket. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Okay. So he calls again. He's like, damn, like, she's not answering. I'm starting to think to myself, like, okay, but bro, is Shirley even real? Like, what's going on? Like, so we go up to the man again, and he's just like, well, I can't do anything for you unless you, one, buy a ticket over, or two, you can give me a receipt in the cardholder's name or whatever of this employee that supposedly works here. And so I'm like, okay, well, Sean, what are we gonna do? And I look at him, and we're standing in front of the man. I'm like, what are we gonna do? And he looks at the man, he goes, 1 second. I'm like, and he pulls me to the side with Kevin, and then he pulls me to the side away from Kevin. I'm like, okay, what's going on? He pulls me aside, whispers in my ear, and he goes, okay, Zoli, I didn't want to tell you, but the ticket is fraudulent. The ticket is what? He goes, and I go, what? And he goes, yeah, I have a homie who like hooks up tickets, like gets fake tickets to amusement parks and stuff like that, and like, I don't know, he just messed up on yours. I said, Negro, what? The ticket is fraudulent? Are you for real right now? Why would you ever put me in a situation to where we could go to jail? I'm sitting up here oblivious, okay? And I know how everybody loves to say, like, snitches get stitches, snitches get stitched. Give me stitches, because I am snitching, okay? I do not care. You are not putting me in no predicament to where I am going to jail, getting harmed, having people want to fight me. I don't care. I am going to snitch so fast, like 911 on speed dial. I was like, fraudulent? He said, yeah, bro, like, my ticket was fake and it worked. Kevin's ticket was fake and it worked. Like, I got all my homies' tickets and they inside and it worked, but yours don't. You gonna give me, not only is it fraudulent, but you gonna give me the bad fraudulent ticket? Like, what kind of hookup do you really have? So I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna do? He's like, I don't know. I said, you know what? I know what we gonna do. You're gonna buy my ticket. Like, you originally, that was the plan. You were going to buy my ticket. So we go back up to the guy and I'm like, I am so sorry, sir. I don't know what happened with his Aunt Shirley or whatever the ticket is, but we're ready to buy our ticket now. And he looks at me, Sean looks at me, and he's like, I can't buy that ticket. I'm like, sir, how much is the ticket? He goes, $80, because when you buy it in advance, it's a lot cheaper. When you buy it there, it's the, you know, it's the night of price. He goes, oh, it's $80. And Sean looked at me like, I can't afford that. I'm like, well, I'm definitely not about to pay for it. When you said you got me, and when you say you got somebody, you got them. You don't take it back because you have a fraudulent ticket. So I'm looking at him, and we go to the side again. I know the guy at the register was like, what is going on with these kids? Like, and so we're going back and forth. I'm like, you're buying my ticket. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, you are. How are you going to invite me out, say you got me, then give me a bad and fraudulent ticket? You are going to pay for this ticket. He's like, I can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I only have $50. I'm like, well, you better cash out the $50 and put the rest on your card, because I'm not spending a dime. You better call your Aunt Shirley to hook it up or whatever. So he ends up putting down like $40 cash and calling up somebody and paying for the rest of the ticket, after we were arguing for like 10 minutes going back and forth about who should pay for this ticket, when it was very obvious who was going to pay for the ticket, because my wallet was going to stay closed. So anyways, finally get inside the park, and honestly, we hadn't even gone in yet and I was ready to go home. Like, it ruined my entire night. Do you know how iffy it is? Like, I just met you, like, we've been friends for maybe like a month, and you're doing some fraudulent stuff with me. Like, that put a bad taste in my mouth. So, you know, the night progresses, like, we're in line and stuff, and so finally we're in line for like a maze, and he puts his hand on my head. Mind you, I have on a hat, a wig, and cornrows, and I'm like, can you not? And I know when he did that, he felt the cornrows, because when you put your hair on somebody with straight hair, you don't feel bumps or cornrows, you feel scalp. He did that. I know he felt like boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, please don't touch me. Please don't touch my head. He was like, ooh, why so spicy? I'm like, no, please just don't. Like that, you know, black girls, we don't like our hair touched, so please don't do it. He goes, okay, well, how you enjoying tonight? I said, what do you mean? I said, the mazes are cool, they straight. He's like, no, like, you know, the date. I said, oh, no. Let me tell you, Sean, this is not a date. I strictly said it to his face. I said, first of all, this was not a date. I said, number one, you ask girls on dates. You don't ask them to go hang out. And two, when you ask somebody on a date because you want to date them, you ask them, and the only people who should be showing up are you and the other person. Not you, the other person, your mama, your daddy, your squad, your best friend, your brother, your uncle, your cousin. When I tell you, like, everybody from that high school game that we were at was there, everybody was there. Then he goes, oh, so what you trying to say, like, what are we? I said, what do you mean, what are we? We are friends. It has been a month. I don't really know you. And then on top of that, we're not really friends because you just put me in some sticky situation with some fraudulent ticket. I'm just like, so Horror Nights comes to an end, and he's like, you know, I had a lot of fun and I hope we can do this again. I was like, yeah, thank you so much. It was a good, it was definitely eventful. So yeah, Sean and I are not friends anymore. I just ignored him for the rest of my life and deleted him off of everything. Be careful who you guys are out here being friends with. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye.